Hello and welcome to episode 145 of NOLA Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Julian.
Obed, can you hear me now?
Yes, I did not mess it up this time. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Oh, good, bro. I couldn't resist because
Uh,
that's probably one of
yeah.
the most common phrases being used while people being at home right now, doing all these video chats and
Seriously.
whatever. Can you hear me now? It's probably like the most common
Yeah.
phrase being.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you just have like a standard setup with like just Zoom or Teams. You don't have anything else like another piece of software or higher end microphones or anything like that. Not like we have state of the art equipment, right? But
We're, 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 we're solid. We're
we're
solid.
solid, for what we have for being a budget podcast. Hey, but a damn good one at that at making predictions.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to get into that. But if I must say so myself, Obed, not to toot our horn, but I do think we sound a lot better our audio than a lot of podcasts and shows out there.
Especially like the From Home podcast for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got to get with the program. Come on, you gotta invest. It's not that expensive.
No, no.
Although I mean, going back to what we've been talking about shortages when it comes to like webcams and PC parts and all that. So I just learned this week that there's a shortage on mic mixers and amps for desktops because people are like investing into plugging in decent mics and their XLR cameras. So uh, like the HDMI to USB converters for XLRs and all that. It's kind of like hit and miss. I know that you were actually purchasing one of those to more than likely test out some streaming. Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to test it out yet. It came in pretty late on over the weekend, so by the time it came through, I haven't tested it out yet. But I'm sure I'll get to it this weekend for sure. I'm pretty excited. I mean, especially if I can stream on the No Load Time Twitch. Might as well plug that in here, guys. Go ahead and follow us on our Twitch account
Do it, plug it. Or on the Facebook, man. I mean,
or Facebook.
Facebook has a growing like streamer community. Yeah. It's crazy. Very non-talented people uh, streaming on Facebook. I don't want to go into the specifics of that, but Joe, how you doing, dude?
Dude, I'm doing great. It's been another busy yet accomplishing week. We've been working on even stuff here for our show. I'm pretty excited and pumped to share some stuff that we've been working on. But yeah, I mean, I've also got some time to enjoy a series that I mentioned before here on the show. I got to finish out watching Stargirl. The finale came out just this last week. It's so strange, man. Whenever I think about it, that I'm watching this thing on DC Universe just a day before that it's going to be on CW, literally the very next day. I thought that's a really strange decision for them. That's just a side note, because at that point it's like, why? Like I have the subscription for all the content on there, but like, you don't need the subscription to really watch any of the shows now. I mean, even like Doom Patrol and those kind of things are on HBO Max now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty strange. So just side note there, I'm pretty sure the DC Universe streaming is going to end up getting consolidated at some point into that HBO Max or something. But yeah, the finale was a good one. I gotta say that show is really charming. So I've said before, like Swamp Thing was probably like my favorite series watching from the DC Universe originals. Stargirl's definitely right there. I actually would say there's generally speaking, it's a more entertaining series than even Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Like Swamp Thing is just a totally different genre, so it just depends on what you're into. So if you're not in, so yeah, like there's a bunch of high school kids that you're probably like, you might not fancy the average person, but understand that this was created for Jeff John's sister, this character. So he really gave a lot of, I think he gave a lot of, like charm and whatnot to kind of pay homage to his family. But and
Gotcha.
then there's a great moment even at the end that's directly talking about him with his sister. But they definitely set up another season, and it's already been talked about. That's going to be coming to CW, the second season. I know that at this very moment, there's a lot of things in the air from a scheduling standpoint for DC. We will be having more clarity on all that stuff soon. The DC Fandom event is coming up August 22nd on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So
Okay.
that's a pretty huge event. They've been hyping that up on social media. They've been doing a lot of great marketing on it to get that pretty excited. And like everyone is there. I mean, even Ezra Miller, dude, who I didn't think would be back, is gonna be there.
Really?
So yeah.
So
I think this is their moment to kind of set the record straight. Robert Pattinson, I mean Margot Robbie, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's gonna be there talking about Black Adam. I mean, they have a huge slate of people going to be out there. And, of course, they're going to be talking about gaming, the Suicide Squad game, and other stuff.
So did you hear the rumor that, like, supposedly Val Kilmer is going to be there with, like, a bat suit?
Yes. Yeah, Val Kilmer will be there.
That's so weird because
it's crazy.
Because he doesn't look too great, man.
No.
Like,
he's
been sick for a while now.
Yeah, I got to see him in a movie recently, and I was like...
Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the guy, but yeah, I mean, he will be. It's bizarre that they're really bringing all these pieces together for this fandom event. The most bizarre thing to me is that there's not an announcement for Henry Cavill being at the event, because obviously Superman is one of the largest characters, if not the central character that kicked off the DCEU. So Henry Cavill not being there formally makes me guess that he might end up being there informally for a surprise announcement. I would not be shocked if that's a part of it.
Gotcha.
I know that some of the confirmed stuff is just going to be like the Justice League Snyder cut trailer is going to be revealed, Wonder Woman footage, the Suicide Squad James Gunn project, and of course, except the games that they're going to be showing there, the Suicide Squad game and Batman game. Speaking about Suicide Squad, did you see that picture with the Superman or some type of Superman? Maybe it's Bizarro. I don't know.
Well, the thing is that I don't know if you saw the rest. So, so you didn't see it. No. So there was that one that showed Superman, right? And they had more. They had one with Batman and Wonder Woman. Yeah.
You sure that was legit? Because I thought that was Boss Logic that put that out. But
oh, really?
I know what you mean. I did see that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I doubt it's Bizarro, because a Superman game has been rumored for years now. So I think that maybe they took a step back, because Superman is such a hard character to put a video game on, to put in a video game, that I just think that they just took a step back and decided to go in a different direction. And maybe they're, Suicide Squad trying to take a hit on Superman and all this stuff.
It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Right. But it'll make it interesting. Like how do this, bunch of dudes and dudettes go against basically a god? so that's gonna be interesting to see.
Can't stop them.
So that's gonna be interesting to see. It's again, Superman is just such a hard character to put into a video game. You can do a beat 'em up and you can do all this stuff, right? That's been done before, but just when you take it to the level that Rocksteady does their games, like with the Arkham series more specifically, it's going to be hard just to have Superman work in that sort of environment unless you come up with a gimmick, right? Like they block the sun, so it's perpetually dark on Earth. Superman can't recharge his powers, so he's gonna start like losing strength and whatnot. So unless you do a gimmick like that, then it's gonna be super hard to do. But yeah. Not much on my end, man. Just kept playing Ghost of Tsushima games. I can't stop thinking about that game. It's so good. It's really, really good. I finally got past Act 1 after all this hours. Like I basically, dude, I honestly did all the side missions first, and then did the story missions. That's how I played it, because it was so good. And even the side missions, they're fine, because they're not necessarily fetch quests. They're not, go here, find this thing and bring it. It's more of, oh, something happened, help me find it, but then you get you know, you may or may not get a happy ending out of that. So it's that, and it's cool. I mean, the way they did it. I haven't had any major issues with open world jank, other than what I've experienced in the first few hours that I played it. It's still solid. Can't wait to go back to it. And yeah, and, other than that, man, that's the only thing I played. Only other thing of note, Joe, is that I actually put down those $5 for Xbox Game Pass
Really?
because my thing expired on Monday, my trial, and I just went ahead and was like, you know what, let's check this out. I'm gonna give it a couple months, and yeah, man. So they keep adding stuff. They put like Final Fantasy VII, the the original or the HD remix they did. They keep putting stuff out, and it's well worth the $5 for PC. It's I don't see myself paying the $15 for like the premium version because that includes the Xbox and the PC. I don't have an Xbox, so it doesn't really matter to me. And the PC apparently the price is gonna go up to like $10 eventually. I don't know when that is. When that happens, then I may just cut it back because I would rather just take those $10-$20 and go find a game on Steam and buy it. But yeah, well, we'll see. Keep playing that Gears 4. I played that a little bit over the weekend. It's still fine. I'm not blown away by it. It's interesting because I was complaining about one, right, Gears 1 that I played back when I started the trial, and how I was like, oh, this is like testosterone the video game. It's like, oh, let's go ahead and explode heads and all this stuff. Yeah, this big bulky guys. Um, and this game was a little bit more grounded and it had more likable characters in my opinion. But dude, I think the first one actually played a little bit better than this one.
Really?
Like Epic knew that what they were doing back then. It's like this actually plays pretty good. Yeah. Although the one that I played was the conversion that was done by was it the collective or the yeah the Microsoft Studio. So it was fine, but I think Gears One overall is actually a better game than this one. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think I think it's just the camera and how the enemies move and whatnot. This game's it's more interesting story wise, but as a game, I think the first one actually plays better. So, just my opinion. Yeah, no, nothing much there. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our topic, sir, because we have quite a lot to go through. Uh, let's go ahead and do the small take care of the small fry first. So, Joel, apparently Sony's interested in buying Crunchyroll from Warner. I guess it's Warner Media that currently owns
Yeah,
Crunchyroll.
AT&T. Yeah.
Yeah, with the AT&T merger, they're
Yeah.
technically part of AT&T. I think that my understanding, and I heard about this rumor, this Crunchyroll rumor. I want to say about 2 months ago. Um, my understanding is that AT&T doesn't want to have another streaming service other than HBO Go, and that's it. Like they don't want to have like, oh, this thing and this thing and this thing. They don't want to have like what Disney is having right now, where they have three streaming services and potentially a fourth one coming. So they really want to avoid that and want to concentrate into putting all their eggs into the HBO Go basket, and they're apparently looking to go ahead and get rid of the service. They are asking 1.5 billion for it. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's a good service, to be honest with you. I mean, I was subscribed to it for about a year, and it's good. I got my JoJo's worth out of it. It's fine, and my Gundams, so I'm good. But we saw that it got fragmented when Funimation came out with their service. Hulu started getting like exclusive deals, like what they did with One Punch Man season two. And then Funimation getting like a lot of exclusive stuff, and a lot of stuff being available like day two. Day two meaning it airs in Japan last night, and then today's available. Um, it's hard. It's hard to compete, um, especially if you don't have the vision to make this grow. I think Sony would be the perfect choice since they already own Funimation. I think that's if you put two and two together, it just makes sense in a business in a business way. Sony also being a Japanese company, they have pool over in Japan with all this stuff, so that's how they're able to basically get the day two Funimation stuff and all that. So yeah, man. But yeah, what do you think, man?
Well, I completely agree with your sentiments that you just mentioned there about it just making sense for Sony to absolve this company. Looking at the state of streaming, there's a whole lot of options out there, a whole lot of different streaming services. This used to be a much less crowded space than what we're seeing now, and it's just looking to continue to grow. And this kind of brings up a conversation around the streaming industry as a whole, right? Like, it's so awesome that we have all these options, but at the same time, because each of them to be worth of some value, they all come with a price tag that when you have
Yeah.
them all spread out so much, it starts to add up. So looking at it like, okay, Sony takes this company on, like you said, Obed, them having Funimation and whatnot, like, it would make sense for them to merge to take in this company and kind of merge those into one streaming service the best that they can, because like, having too many options can become a problem, because it just you look at with what's going on right now, like I've mentioned just priorly with with HBO Max and DC Universe Online, like same company we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you spend this $7-8 and have another $15 subscription?
Yep.
Why not put those things together? That's a lot of money. Start talking about over $20, and we're trying to get $30 just to
Yeah.
have maybe 2 or 3 shows that you really are interested in.
And that's been the rumor too, that HBO is looking to basically consolidate those two, and
Right.
have HBO go completely absorb the DC universe, and have just the one service. Um, it would make sense for them, right? I don't see. I know why Disney has three services, and I can see it sucks, but I can see that because
Yeah,
they
for
have.
for what the content that they have.
Exactly, because they want to have the family friendly pop, big Disney stuff on Disney Plus, the more mature series and action stuff in Hulu, and then of course you have your sports division. You're not gonna mix it with the rest of your content, so you're gonna have your ESPN Plus and whatever.
Right. And the Hulu thing wasn't like they just came out like owning this thing. Like, they just bought a majority stake in it, right?
Exactly.
Like, I
Yeah.
think they probably would have planned that out differently
Yeah.
had things been different. But like, this is what we're looking at. Like, looking at Sony possibly being a buyer for Crunchyroll. Like, this is how it's going to become at some point. This will become another monopoly, because there's so many different existing IPs going around, and either companies are going to start having to consolidate, or they're gonna have to start selling off to
Yeah.
let other people do that job. So yeah, it makes sense. But 1.5 billion, Obit, I didn't imagine it'd be worth that much, but I
Steep.
guess it is. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Four,
Well,
bil- 4 billion, I think, for the interactive games, right? Wasn't it being rumored around that much was the selling cost? I think.
for Warner, yeah, four, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that because they have pretty big studios and IPs and whatnot.
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming that Warner will keep the IPs, right? It's not like they're auctioning off, Mortal Kombat. I mean, I guess you can keep Mortal Kombat if that be the case, because they do own the studio. So, but yeah, 1.5 billion, it's a lot. But you gotta uh, Crunchyroll's not only the streaming service, right? They also have a merch store, and they do sell like imported figures and all this stuff. So it's it's a complete, it's a Hydra, so it's just not the service. They have a storefront that they do sell a lot of stuff. I think they at one point they had a like a box of crap service, like loot crate. I call it the
Oh,
box of
okay.
crap because it's like you get a box with like
Random
random crap on it. So
T-shirt.
yeah, so I think at one point they had a service too. I think they already discontinued it, but it was part of it at one point. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you know, we'll see how that comes out. But yeah, like I said, I think it's a Sony would be the perfect choice for that acquisition. Um, Joel, we know about the a couple of the games that were canceled by EA, Star Wars games. Which, by the way, we don't have a weekly Star Wars update this week. Our friend Overlord DVD decided to do a rant on Star Trek this week, so we got a week off. Uh, but we got some news about Project Ragtag. That this was supposed to be the game that Amy Hennig was working on, I guess, and to some extent was going to be inspired in the Star Wars 1313 demos that we saw back 8 years ago at E3, back before the Disney acquisition. Lucas Arts was working on a Star Wars game, on like an underworld sort of Star Wars game. But apparently this game was very ambitious, and it's a bummer. Like reading the info that came out this week. You sent me the article from IGN, and yeah, they basically said this was going to be the best Star Wars game ever, based on what they said, man. So I'm bummed.
Absolutely. Looking at the comments coming out from people involved in this thing, just, I mean, like you would expect if you worked on a project that you would speak highly of it. Like, yeah, my work was good, defensive. But we start comparing stuff like this to when the game was being compared to like Uncharted, right, or something like that. Like that's some stuff that's pretty magical in the gaming space, right? Those are
Yeah.
games that are to be remembered, and if you're looking at possibly having one of the greatest Star Wars, if not the greatest Star Wars game of all time coming out, Star Wars being one of the greatest intellectual properties there is. I mean, like this brings up a conversation around EA's ambition and their looking at as a business, like what decisions that they have to make is that sorry, this game is going to be great, but we just don't have the time and money to put behind this to wait it out
Yep.
to see that return. Like we just need to make instant success or instant money. Really, is what that translates to. I think that I'm not. I don't know this, but that would be my assumption that that's kind of been the EA way. Is that it's right now like we just need to crank out stuff quick, and I mean that's like has it helped them? I don't know how as a business how well they really are doing behind this. I mean, I don't know that they're necessarily doing terrible, but it doesn't seem to me like to me I feel like this would be your moment to take a risk, right? Like if you take a risk on a Star Wars game, that's something that could potentially be one of the greatest games of all greatest Star Wars games of all time. Like I wouldn't take it on little Sockman jumps game, independent game and see that it works out. Like, no, it's Star Wars. I would totally take the risk there. So I don't know what the thought process is behind saying like, no, we're not going to do this thing. Yes, they needed time. Yes, they probably needed money, but man, I feel like there could have been a great payoff there. But there's probably more factors than I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah, it stinks. And what I saw that EA like shareholders are not too happy with some of the direction that the company went, and I was hoping for an EA renaissance because they started like focusing on smaller stuff like the what's the Yarny, those games, Unraveled, I think they're called.
yeah,
Yeah, with those games, and that other game, the prison break one that came out with Yusef Betty, is it the director that he's like bonkers?
it was like Beyond. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah. That came out about a year and a
Yeah.
half ago, maybe 2 years. Um, and we saw them taking risks with some of that, right? And then we saw what Fallen Order is, but we also saw what the disaster that the reveal of that game was. Like that game was revealed in the most awkward way possible, where you basically go and add the studio head about, hey, I heard you're making a Star Wars game, so what's up with that? And he just gives you the name of the game, and doesn't share anything else because there's nothing to share, right? It was very awkward, but the game came out excellent. So that's good. But man, I would have liked to see the Uncharted Star Wars game that this game was supposed to be. So I'm bummed. I wish we could go back. I mean, Amy Hennick's no longer with EA, but maybe someone at EA still has a little piece of creative juices and put something together for us. I don't know. I mean, as far as I heard, Disney's still happy with them, so I don't see the
Wow.
licensing go to another company anytime soon. So yeah, man,
Wow.
kind of stinks. Um, I mean, ah, I yeah, I wanted this game to come out, so I'm bummed. But yeah, it is what it is with that. Out of our controls. But Joel, are you ready to talk Xbox for the rest of the show?
Let's dive in. We've been holding back on this for a bit here.
Okay. So, all right. I mean, we can mix and match stuff in here. Because we have three
It all
big
flows
we
together.
have three stories. We'll just mesh them into one big one, basically. Um, man, is this what's the name of the console again? Is it the Xbox Series L? Cause all cause they're taking those L's, man. Like, sheesh. So going back to 2 episodes ago, right? I we were talking about Halo Infinite and this in the state of that the state of the game, basically, when it was shown at the Xbox event. And now the game's canceled. The game's delayed. Oh, canceled. Ooh, did I say canceled? I'm sorry. It's delayed. Um, I don't know if this is gonna be the next Crackdown 3. Uh, Something really weird, and I think this may have come out Friday after we recorded last week, Joel, about the multiplayer. I don't know if you heard.
Yes, I did hear about
Yeah,
that.
the multiplayer is gonna be a separate free to play experience that is not gonna be part of the main game. I mean, okay, well that's fine, right? But then at the same time, you go like 2 days later and delay the game, and Xbox fanboys everywhere are just having a heart attack. It's like, that's it, I'm done buying a PlayStation. And it's fine, whatever. Um, when we were talking about the state of this game, we talked about, and you posted the video, what the, which by the way, Joe, the editing was pretty good. Editing was pretty good.
Thank you.
Um, uh, just thinking about it, right? I thought that you were gonna come out. You know how they have those meme videos with the Avengers theme just in the background rising, and then I thought you were gonna have the headline with like RIP headphones like volume on it. I thought you were gonna do that.
I
Uh,
could have.
that was yeah. For the next one, yeah, there you go. It's an idea for the next one. Um, yeah, and we said, and I said back then, I mean, I would rather just see this game get delayed than see it launched in this state. The problem is, right, that now Xbox just has zero games for the rest of the year because they have no Forza. They already released their only exclusive, that was Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Um, I mean, is anyone out there that's an Xbox gamer? Just let us know, because I mean, I've been looking for stuff that comes out this year, and I just can't find anything that's like either a con like. And when I said anything, I mean a big game because I'm sure there's gonna
No,
be
right, right.
yeah, because I'm sure that there's gonna be like a small indie game that's gonna be like an Xbox and PC kind of thing, but like a show-stopping like AAA big game coming out that's exclusive to Xbox because I can't find one, man.
No, me either. I would like, and again, like to your point, Obed, that if there's an Xbox fan watching or listening right now, I would welcome the opportunity for you to share with us, what game would be something that you could tell me right now why I need to buy an Xbox Series X when it comes out. Like why not because of, oh, Joel, this is the most powerful console that's going to be coming out next gen, or this is the capabilities. Like I want to know, I get this thing day one, and this is what I need to play within the first day or the first 2 months.
Yeah,
Because I'm with you. I'm struggling to find what that content is for the immediate release of this console. We know things are coming. I'm
yeah,
not
oh
talking
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah,
that, right? But we're saying like for a launch, it's the equivalent of saying like it's the equivalent of launching a new streaming service. We go back to that conversation and saying like,
yeah. Yep.
I'm going to go launch I'm gonna go launch, Pixar Plus. Let's just call it something like that, right? And I'm gonna have all the original Pixar, shorts you can watch, but there's no new Pixar shorts that are coming out at launch, except for there's gonna be a new one coming out March of next year. And you're like, wait a second. So I gotta wait, like, I can get this, subscribe to this thing, coming October, November, but I'm not gonna get anything new until March of next year. I'll wait till March. I think that's the approach that you would suspect people would take right now with this next console, is saying like, sure, I'll maybe you're a fan and you're saying I want to get this next gen console, but there's not any reason to get it at launch, and that's going to affect their sales like crazy, man.
Oh
Like
yeah,
this one particular domino, this one thing is going to affect their sales. Like as a
well,
console war,
well you
right?
gotta
That fans love to
yeah,
talk about, right? Like the long game, we'll see how it all goes, right? But looking at just at a launch, like they've already, like they're like 5 miles behind in the half marathon race, and it just
yeah,
started. So
yeah, man. The big problem is that they've been hyping the Series X alongside Halo Infinite for 2 years.
yeah,
So like,
yeah.
oh, this is the next big thing, big Halo thing, and this is the most powerful console ever, 12 teraflops custom cooling thing that we're doing, and they're coming together. They're one in the same package, right? That that's the problem because they've been selling this game for forever as a launch title for this console, and that was going to freaking like decimate PS5 at launch. And now they don't have Forza's not coming on until next year. Like they don't have anything. So
That
they have 2K.
yeah.
They have 2K. They have their version of 2K. But 2K you
But
can play anywhere.
that's what I'm saying. Like all the
That's the thing,
options that you
right?
start bringing up, it's
Yeah.
like, but I could play that on my PC. I could play that on my PlayStation. I can play it on last gen. that's that's a problem.
Like it right now, it's not even a viable machine for Game Pass. Because if you have an Xbox One, you have Game Pass already. If you have an Xbox One S, whatever, XS, what
The
the
Xbox XS.
the Xbox XS tech and
Oh, oh
the
God.
old digital, whatever, right? Or a PC, you have Game Pass. So right now, it's not even like it's not even it doesn't even make sense as a Game Pass machine. It's like you know how they have those memes. Though, remember those Wii U memes where
I
they
do.
showed us like $300 Smash machine because people bought it just to play Smash or
And
$300 Mario
I
Kart machine.
I can't knock that. Like, hey, you love that thing? Okay, great. But nah, man, you got to give me something that's worth, like you're saying, that AAA. You need that heavy duty title for launch, and it's not there, man.
Yeah,
Like for me, I've been touting it on the show ever since we've talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like I'm just saying that's the reason why I want to have a PS5 at launch. Because I
yeah.
want to play Spider-Man Miles Morales at launch, and I can't play that
They
anywhere
can't
else.
play anywhere. Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
that's a reason enough to say, well, like there's nothing else to go around it.
yeah.
That's the only way I can play it.
I mean that
That's
you
a good reason to buy the thing, right?
yeah that that is a launch title, right? I'm still
I know
saying
it.
like like I still think that Ratchet is gonna be a launch title. That
That would
Ratchet
be
and Clank.
amazing, dude.
Like I still think Ratchet and Clank is gonna be a launch title, and it wouldn't surprise me to see like a PS5 version of like Final Fantasy VII remake or something.
Sure.
Like, Joe, what the heck, man? What the heck? I'm so like there's not even there's not gonna be like an exciting launch for the PS5 because you like to like that's part of the excitement, right? And it's like
Having
oh
these
the
options.
rivalries, right? And it's like
Yeah.
that's what makes it exciting. Like at this point, Microsoft just delayed this thing. They came out and said no, it's coming out in November.
That's right. That's a follow up. Like, oh, okay, by the way, guys, we're delaying this thing, but we're still on
We're
track for
still on track for
November. Like,
November.
why would you do this at the same time?
I would just I don't know, Joe. I so here's the thing.
Delay it, man.
Like
Delay that console.
now, there's rumors that it's gonna be November 4th. I think.
Wow.
Based on the controller that got leaked. That's part of like we had it in the docket, right?
Okay.
The white controller that got leaked that said compatible with Xbox Series S and Series X, and that being out there. So apparently the packaging, someone took a picture of like packaging like actual retail for the box, saying do not sell before November 4th. So like retailers may already be getting this stuff in. So that's probably why they can't delay it. So and they still haven't released a price or revealed the S, dude. What are
So,
they doing?
so the only thing I could think, like, I'm really trying to think here, man. I'm trying. Like, do they have a secret IP that we don't know about that they're like behind the scenes right now, going like, "Come on, guys, keep turning the wheel, keep
Nope.
cranking that wheel in the factory because
So
we got to get this thing out like ASAP, and we
so
can't announce it yet."
so that's the thing,
Do they have an ace that we don't know
they
about?
don't have like as a launch, right? Like we're what 3 months away
Yeah,
from the potential
it's
launch.
November. Yeah,
I mean, you can't do it. The, you can do a game in 3 months. Like this is not Atari 2600 times where the Atari chairman met with Steven Spielberg and said it's like, oh yeah, we can have an ET game ready for Christmas. Yeah, ready for Christmas is that you tell the guy like the first week of November, and you have to have this thing out by Black Friday, and you have to make the game in 2 weeks. I mean, that's why ET sucks because he was made in 2 weeks, dude,
character
by one
jumps,
guy,
character walks. That's it.
by one guy, dude.
Yeah, no, no.
So this is not. We're not in 1982 anymore. Like this things take a lot of people and a
Right.
lot of time, right? Um, I don't. It's like I'm speechless. It's like I saw like fanboys trying to like patch this thing. It's like, oh yeah, wait for next E3, and oh man, I don't know what they're gonna have on release that's big enough to push Halo out of the way. They have nothing.
I will give them credit though because for the one thing is like them delaying this thing was the right move.
Yep.
Like I will give them that and totally I respect them more for doing that.
100%.
I don't respect them entirely because first of all, who even puts out that demo that we
Who
saw like
approved?
and says that's fine, show this to the fans like that doesn't make any sense. It makes you scratch your head.
Like who in marketing approved
But
that, right?
right, they reacted the right way by saying
Yes.
we're going to delay this thing. That
Yeah.
was the right decision. So
Yep.
kudos to them for
Which is
that. But
fun.
they gotta have something. You can't just delay that. There's got to be something else for this. But dude, how much are we expecting this console to be? Just not the Series S, Series X.
My prediction is 399.
So you're gonna tell me to spend $400 to play Madden?
2K.
But I can play that on my PS4
And 5.
or right and five. Right, like I don't need to upgrade. Like that's my issue.
You don't need to
I
upgrade.
don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. If you're an Xbox fan, you have. If you're an Xbox fan, right, that you under zero circumstances will buy a PS5. Like if Xbox is your religion and you're not gonna waver in your faith, and that's what you're gonna do, right? There's no reason for you to get this thing now.
Save your money.
Wait it out, bro.
Wait for your tax return or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I man, I'm almost speechless because it's like it's a big black hole that they have now in that launch, because they're not gonna have a title that's gonna move. So here's the thing, right? I saw a lot of fanboys saying, "Well, the PS2 launch like sucked really bad, but and they ended up being the best console, like highest selling console ever." Right? Here's the thing with the PS2, right? That you're not taking into account. Yes, that launch lineup was terrible. It's like there's no going around it, right? That PS2 launch lineup was definitely not the best. Yeah, but at the time, it was one of the cheapest DVD players.
Right. Functionality.
So
At that
so
point, you were saying, "Mom, let me buy this thing because I can play my games and we can
and
watch a
watch
movie at
movies
night."
exactly. Yeah. So you have to take that into account, um, and you have to take into account what the PS2 later became, right? When Final Fantasy X and Devil May Cry and Metal Gear and all this titles started like trickling in, right? That's when like when Tekken, Tekken 5, that was huge on PS2. When all this game started like trickling in, that's when it's like, oh yeah, crap, like this is like the console to have, right? A GTA, when GTA 3 was an exclusive, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
all this stuff. So that's what you have to take into account with the PS2. The PS2 was like always sold out in Japan, like all the time. Like everyone in Japan probably bought a PS2. So like you can there's actually 1.25 PS2 sold for every resident of the land of the rising sun. So because they really love their PS2s, man, over
That's
there.
awesome.
I mean, the PS2 was like in like warranty support and repairs up until like 2016. Come
That's
on.
awesome, dude.
Come on.
That's
Like, it's
awesome.
insane.
That's like what a success, man. I'd have that like as a plaque on my wall. Those stats if I'm Sony.
Yeah, seriously. And I bet they do. But then they go and have the PS3 come out.
I
And
know.
that launch lineup sucked too. It's like just awful. Yeah. See, that's interesting, Joe, because for some reason, and I'm going back to PS1 too.
Sure.
Like PlayStation has never had like a really really good launch lineup. Because the PS1 they had Battle Arena Toshinden. It's an awful fighting game. Ridge Racer was good. I mean, it wasn't like it's not gonna blow my socks off, but it was fine. And then Jumping Flash and Crazy Ivan and all this stuff that came out at the PS1 launch. But then PS3 came out with like Genji and an awful Ridge Racer game on PS3, and then PS4 like Knack and Killzone was good though. That was, I mean, that was good, and it looked good. It was like a big showpiece, but it didn't have anything like a killer app up until like March of the next year when Infamous came out, and that was like big deal. Um, Xbox, on the other hand, I feel like the 360 had a decent launch lineup. Um, the Switch has possibly the best launch lineup of any system in the history of gaming. Like
Oh yeah.
like
They brought it.
like Switch, yeah. They're just like we're gonna yeah, kick ass and take names like what Reggie said when he started his career with Nintendo. So and then before that, I think the best launch lineup, like before the Switch, the best launch lineup ever probably was the Dreamcast. We had like Sonic Adventure and Soul Calibur and all this. 2K, like 2K came out for the first time. both football and basketball. Um, Man, it's crazy. Oh, Joel, oh, his setup broke.
All good. We're back.
We're,
All right.
we're back.
I have shorts, guys. I'm not that guy.
Tidy whities over here,
Oh God.
man.
Cut the stream.
Shut it down. But yeah, man. Uh, I don't know. It's just a void that they're probably not gonna be able to fill. And Phil Spencer's responsible, and whoever the studio head at 343 is responsible. Um, I just, oh no, I don't know, man. I just don't know. I I mean, if I'm Sony, right, and my plan is to release like Spider-Man and Ratchet and all this stuff at launch, I would just do one and do another one in like March or February or March or whatever. Because why would you come out swinging, right?
Why not? I mean,
I mean, it's their
they can
chance.
make
You're
so
right.
much
You're
money,
right.
dude. Like,
You're
because
right.
they'll cater to so many people if they go crazy like that.
You're right. You're right. I don't know, man. Do you hear the thing with Control
Yeah.
about the Ultimate Edition? That's basically Control itself is backwards compatible, but not. It's not gonna be enhanced for the next gen systems, or unless you buy the Ultimate Edition. That's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
that means that they're basically leaving it up to the publisher to do this sort of thing, which is I've never heard anything like this before. Like giving the publisher the freedom to choose how much they're gonna charge for the games, because we know 2K is charging a premium. Apparently, Capcom is saying that they may charge a premium for their games. I mean, I could like honestly. I mean, I always pay when a Capcom games like for like RE2 remake and DMC5 and all that stuff. I would pay like I usually get the deluxe edition anyway, which is like an extra $10. So I'm already paying that price. It doesn't really matter to me. So yeah, and then dude, the I have a feeling, Joel. I have a huge feeling that now that Halo is, delayed officially, more than likely next week we'll hear something like Sony's gonna come out and they're gonna do the mic drop that Microsoft said that they were gonna do in their event. Because Microsoft said it was like, oh, we're coming out, we're dropping the mic, and whew, wow, yeah, you sure?
Drop the mic, they drop the ball.
Yeah, you didn't drop the mic, you dropped the ball. Holy crap! So, so, so I think Sony's gonna not they're confident enough now that they're gonna come out with pricing and a launch lineup and just have at it. I mean, I'm still like I'm predicting $4.99 for the disc version and $3.99 for the digital edition. And Xbox, I'm going with $3.99 for the Series X and 249 for the Series S. So yeah, man, it's they should just do it. Like they have no reason to hold back now. They should just put it together and get marketing and get I was gonna say Jack Tretton, uh, get Jim over here and go out in a video and say, hey, dropping the mic, this thing, and this is our lineup, and this is how much. And this is how much lawns you're gonna have to mow to buy just the one controller. Because I'm still, dude, that controller is gonna be like $80. That controller is
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you see that the DualSense has 50% more battery capacity than the DualShock 4?
I did see that.
Yeah, it's 1,000 milliamp hour on the DS4, and
Its own firmware, man.
yeah,
Legit.
yeah, and this one's gonna be like 1506, I think, or 1560 milliamp for the DualSense. Yeah, like yeah, custom firmware and everything is nuts. Yeah, I think it's gonna be so expensive.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so here's my thing. Like,
Yeah,
I know they've been saying it. Like, I hope this won't be. I hope we won't be talking about like at launch, not like directly at launch, but around launch, like after saying like, oh man, there's not enough PlayStations in stock. People are just trying to find them. They better be ready, man, because this is about to like flood, especially like with what we're
yeah.
going through in the world right now, where people will buy this just to buy their happiness. Like
Seriously,
gaming has been a huge light in the darkness during these times for a lot of people. Um, you know, you don't if you don't feel safe enough to go to a movie theater, but you can play your console in the privacy and comfort of your home and get that thing shipped right to you. Man, they better be ready because I get a feeling we're looking at a massive launch coming. So
yeah,
we'll see, dude. But yeah,
yeah.
especially when those pre-orders come, like that's gonna shut down, man. That's gonna
Oh,
get
Best
crazy.
Buy's site's probably gonna go down big
I
time.
don't know what I'm gonna do, man.
You
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
still conflicted?
I
Yeah,
am.
I'm gonna wait it out till next year.
Understandable.
I have plenty. I have plenty to keep me busy. From
That's your
now until
life, bro.
Christmas. Oh man. So one more thing before we go, Joe. I don't know if you saw that picture that Nintendo posted about Mario in a beach with like, hey, it's Mario staying cool. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Yeah, so like speculation is that they're coming out with a not a remake, but a remaster of Super Mario Sunshine, and the speculation is that right next to Mario, right, Mario's sitting on a red chair, has a red drink next to him, or the drink has a red straw next to him. It's a green seat with a green straw. So speculation is that it's gonna have like two player, like Mario and Luigi, two player Mario Super Mario Sunshine. So yeah, that's cool.
There goes Obed and his daughter.
That's
There
cool,
they
man.
go.
Yeah, yeah, man. Uh, I think that Nintendo also has like aces on like under their sleeves because they haven't like Paper Mario release, right, and people bought it. But I don't. But Paper Mario is not like a big like system mover. Like people like it, but it's more of an RPG. So a lot of like the casual audience finds it a little bit too convoluted for them. But if they release a like that supposed Mario 64 remake they're doing, and the Mario Sunshine and Galaxy and whatever they're doing, right? Um, I think that's gonna be big. The what 3D World? I think that's the only game that's stuck on the Wii U right now because Pikmin 3 is coming out. They announced that. Uh, Other than the Zelda remasters, like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, they might as well just release those too. Come on, I mean,
Coming.
why not? And just end it for all of us, Nintendo. Do it, get him. Um, Joe, but I don't know what Xbox is gonna do. It's gonna be really hard to fill that void that that not having a Halo game will have. To their defense, Joe,
I was say, Obed, you sound like you're so sad not to play Halo at launch, man.
I've never played a Halo ever. I'm good. I'm bummed that that controller's not available now because I've been having driver issues with my DualShock 4 on the PC.
Dude, I still got a picture of you at work with
Oh,
holding that
an Xbox
Xbox
controller,
controller, bro.
like
Hands
cramping,
are bleeding.
like my hands. No, no,
No, it's a fine
it's a
controller. It's a
fine
fine
controller. It's
controller.
great. No, I so
It's
I'm
light as
actually
fuck.
so I'm actually planning on buying one. But I might as well just I mean for the PC because the DualShock 4 is fine, right? But some games on Steam for some reason the driver just keeps freaking out. Um, they do work like my DualShock 4 works fine with Game Pass, which like it's weird. It works fine with Game Pass using the DS4 Windows driver, but on Steam there's certain games that they just like, oh, I don't like your controller anymore, and in the middle of the game, it just disconnects. It's like great, thanks Steam, and which is weird because Steam does have like built-in DualShock 4 support, and Game Pass doesn't. So, but yeah, I'll probably end up buying one of those controllers. I was planning on buying one anyway, so I'll probably just wait it out and buy one of the new ones, because why not, right?
Get that one's compatible for Series S and Series X. No
Exactly.
white.
Yeah. Nah, I'll get the black one. I like my stormtrooper or like my
Contrasting.
Darth
Yeah.
Vader sort of thing, right? It was like all black or all white, like yeah. But yeah, man.
I mean, well, supposedly the PS5, right, supposed to have interchangeable covers and
Yeah,
whatnot,
yeah, yeah.
right?
The covers
So,
are supposed to be interchangeable. Yeah,
because if that's the case, man, when I saw that red and black picture going around, it looked pretty
that
fancy.
was supposed to be like a special edition or something, right?
Yeah,
that were gonna do.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if it has like the changeable, like removable faceplates, yeah, that'd be
Right.
cool. Joel, that's what I got, man.
That's it.
Hoping that Xbox can fix their stuff and come back. But in the meantime, Joel, where can everyone find us?
Good people of No Load Time, thank you for watching and listening to us. Make sure you are following us on social media. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you so much. Go ahead and follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts, and our Twitch. Also, make sure you're subscribed, right? So, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and share those videos with your friends. Drop us a comment and a like. Also, ring the bell to get notifications whenever we drop some new content on there. Make sure that you also send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Especially if you're a Microsoft fan, I would love to hear from you and hear what your thoughts are on everything going on.
Yep.
You know, why you will or why you will not buy at launch, or what your thoughts are. It would just be great to hear. We appreciate your feedback, and maybe we'll even talk about it here again on the show. But thank you all so much, and we look forward to hanging with you all on our next episode.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you again next time.